So here's a pen. Mind blowing, right? I want you to imagine this pen as the artist or the individual. The cap, that's community. The pen still works without the cap, sure, but over time the ink may dry out. Similarly, the cap or the community preserves and deepens the artist's creativity. You may face an art block or feel uninspired, but when you're surrounded by people who support your creative process, it's easier to get out of that mindset. Didn't quite click? Let me explain. I was never a firm believer in the phrase, teamwork makes the dream work. In fact, all through primary and middle school, all my report cards had the same remark: prefers working alone. When I thought of creativity, I often imagined a single genius, me, at work, paintbrush in hand or hunched over a notebook. But scholar and author Edward Clapp challenges this idea. He suggests that it's not individuals who are creative, but ideas. So creativity is less about the lone artist and more about a group of diverse minds contributing over time. It's shared, shaped, and passed around. But this focus on the self runs deeper. It reflects a broader social ideology, individualism. We all value our unique identity, our distinct personality traits, ways of speaking, learning, likes and dislikes, preferences and tastes, our individuality. Individualism values each person's dignity, autonomy, and voice. It's the reason democracy works and why we've fought so hard for personal rights, like in the feminist or trans rights movements. But there's a shadow side to this. When taken too far, it becomes hyper-individualism. This is the extreme focus on personal autonomy and self-reliance over collective well-being. Therefore, when we start viewing the world solely through the lens of ourselves, we are being hyper-individualistic. When community, collaboration, and shared responsibility are lost in the pursuit of personal success and uniqueness. So, what does hyper-individualism look like? Well, we're nowadays seeing a rise in what some call therapy speak. Terms like setting boundaries, holding space, cutting off toxic people, or I'm triggered have entered our everyday vocabulary. These ideas, rooted in mental health practice, are valuable when used with care. But in today's hyper-individualistic culture, they're often co-opted to justify avoidance of any discomfort or connection. So instead of helping us build healthier relationships, they can create more distance. It's an armor for the self, and this is just one example. You can also now curate a personality. Welcome to the world of cores, which are tailored lifestyle preferences widely seen in pop culture, where identity is sliced into digestible, stylized bits. Are you coquette core, cottage core, or maybe in your mob wife era this week? Perhaps you prefer the ironic ambition of corp core, where spreadsheets and blazers are suddenly a fashion statement. Everything from the mundane clean girl to the generational wealth or old money has an aesthetic now. It's all content. Individuality, from the way you speak to the way you express yourself, has become a trend cycle dictated by what performs well online. Reading Kafka now means wearing tote bags and dark academia fashion, sullen expressions and bad posture. Bonus points for misusing the word Kafkaesque in every context imaginable, of course. While this may sound silly to us, what emerges is a kind of creative monoculture, where the pressure to produce and perform as individuals ends up flattening expression itself. So the great irony is this: while this isolationist mindset claims to celebrate uniqueness, it's actually producing a generation of people trying to stand out in the exact same way. Hyper-individualism doesn't exist alone. It's thriving in partnership with technology, media, and capitalism. Capitalism encourages this efficiency. It favors what can be sold, scaled, and consumed quickly. AI promises ease. Why spend weeks writing or painting when a prompt can do it in seconds? Conformity promises profit. Why create something authentic when feeding the algorithm the same 30-second video with fast-moving clips and overused audios guarantees virality? Because, simply put, it will lead to the death of creativity. When our own projects are no longer guided by our experiences, ideas, and thinking, but instead by this cheat code, this formula, what distinguishes us from AI and machine learning programs? The ease comes with a price tag, which is why we need to protect and foster creativity. And the best way to do this is through community building. The idea for Junoon came to me back in 8th grade. I was in a school filled with incredibly talented students. Some were building rockets, others were writing poetry, dancing, singing, or painting. Creativity was all around me. But no one outside of our classrooms ever saw it. All that expression was thriving quietly in small, close circles. That's when I thought, what if there was a space where young people could share their work more openly? A place where their voices and ideas could interact and their creativity could reach a wider audience. And that was the beginning of Junoon. What started as a passion project has now grown into a collective of over 300 young writers, artists, designers, and poets. So while individual creativity is deeply personal and powerful, I began to realize that something even more meaningful happens when we create together. And the reason is, number one, vulnerability. I think we can all admit that art is often a very personal, intimate creation. It carries little pieces of who we are, whether it's our poetry, the lyrics to a song, or even a painting, we hold it close to our hearts. Why? Because art allows vulnerability. Even more so when we share it with other people. But this vulnerability is not a weakness. It is the reason art moves people across centuries, cultures, and time zones. Sharing our art, which draws from lived experiences and cultural heritage, like, say, recipes passed down from our grandmothers, enriches us and deepens our connections with other people. Not only does being part of a community broaden our horizons, but it encourages us to use our creativity as a tool for activism. In a world where each day we feel powerless in the face of war, famine, destruction, and exploitation, creation holds more power than we realize. Take the example of Mukkamar, a Mumbai-based non-profit that uses theater to build confidence among young girls to confront gender violence. Or take the example of Nukkad Nataks on the street of Andhra Pradesh and Bihar, educating people about the COVID-19 pandemic to anti-drug campaigns. Collective art is an instrument for social change and protest. Remember, one voice is easier to silence than a horde of them. A part of being in a creative community is letting go of convenience. The same convenience hyper-individualism promises. This behind me is the world and where Junoon volunteers come from. So it's a given that we're all very different in our mannerisms, beliefs, thought processes. It isn't always smooth sailing working with my team. There are days we cannot stand each other. We fight, we apologize. Then there's times I think to myself, there doesn't exist a group of people as brilliant as them. This reminds me of a quote from one of my favorite TV series, Fleabag. Look at me, listen. People are all we've got. So no, you cannot like everyone all the time, but when you come together to create, something shifts. Art becomes a non-linguistic way to communicate with each other. Let's take the example now of an orchestra. While it can't be said that an orchestra or a choir produces music better than, say, a solo performer, they have a distinct, ethereal kind of sound. It's a collaboration of musicians from different backgrounds with different skill sets, strengths, and voices. Despite their many differences, they work for hours on end for months and anticipate each other's every note, every move to create a musical experience. No one voice is louder than another. Instead, it's a beautiful symphony with coherence, as if all these people are sharing a voice. This is why, more than a magazine, Junoon is a space where young people can come together, express freely, think critically, and support one another's creative journeys. I am standing here today asking you to build your own Junoon. It's as easy as calling up your friends next weekend for a potluck, singing or playing music together, or even grabbing some sheets of paper and painting together. Join a running or a book club. Invest your time in creative communities. Thank you.